What's going on? Is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Right behind me is MGM Grand. That's my preferred choice. And one of the reasons that I go to MGM Grand, because we got 3 casinos in Detroit alone. We got a bunch of them in Michigan, got a lot of Indian casinos out west and a little bit up north. And then we got Caesars, which is right across the water over in Windsor. But MGM, Motor City, and then what used to be Greektown is Hollywood, which you guys recently seen me get kicked out of. MGM is the one that I prefer because they give me the most perks. And then more importantly, wherever it is that you acquire, as far as comps and all of that stuff, it basically can be spent worldwide. You can go to Macau, you can go to Biloxi and all of that. And it's the most profitable casino. I would like for them to update their hotel rooms, because it seems like it's a little bit long in two, but they're making a lot of money. Right next to it, you got DTE. So this is DTE, and DTE is basically the energy company for the electric. And then you got Detroit Public Safety Headquarters that's right down there. When they were doing the protests with George Floyd and all of that, everybody would stop right here at the Detroit Public Safety Headquarters, and it would start right here, and you would see a whole bunch of white people and then a few black people there, and it was pretty interesting. But neither here nor there. The thing that I want to talk about today is something that I experienced yesterday while doing my Millionaire Morning Show. And in the middle of what it is that I'm doing, people always want to throw out the racist word, and it always comes from black people. Doesn't come from Asian people, don't come from Indian people, don't come from any other group from my experience as far as what I see in a discriminatory way. White people have become the enemy of America because it's an easy scapegoat for why you are not whatever it is that you are. So never mind that you primarily probably live in a black city that's ran by black legislators and all of that stuff. Never mind that Kamala Harris in particular is the person that is trying to get you to vote based off of DEI. And never mind the fact that we always play identity politics. And if you go into any major city historically, for example, let's just take Detroit, right? Detroit has absolutely been decimated, especially back in the 2007-2008 crisis, and it was primarily ran by all black people, right? So when we start to look at this thing and we start to explore this conversation that I'm about to have with you guys, we have to talk about it in truth. And the reality is that I have been more persecuted, prosecuted, and biased against from people that look like me. And that's just the fact. And you can see it no more than whenever you get into a situation where it's somebody that thinks differently than the community. It don't matter if it's actually beneficial, but the only thing that matters is if you think differently. You ain't got to do anything against a black person. You ain't got to feel no type of way against somebody else. All you got to do is think differently. And thinking different would then cause for them to try to remove you, get you canceled, go against you. And it's different sects and it's different segments. Let me preface this by saying that if you go into any of the most black households, or you go around and you sit around at Thanksgiving, a lot of people don't really realize this, and a lot of black people will not admit this, but if you know, you know. Some of the most crazy conversations that I've ever seen is going to visit friends and everybody feel comfortable because everybody black, and so they talk the most wild stuff. And it ain't just against white people, it's against a lot of people. And so they think that just because they don't say it out loud in the general public to where a camera can see it, that it's okay for them to say the craziest things ever. I think that some of the stuff that's being spewed on the internet, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, is some of the craziest things. And black people can get away with it. If white people would do the same thing, then it would be a problem. But more importantly, it's so interesting because we always talking Black Lives Matters. And we always talking about our relationship with the police and white people and something that they supposed to do to us or do for us. But we do some of the worst things against ourselves. I'm telling you, listen, as a black man that has never been arrested, or I've been arrested before when I was younger, but it was for driving without a license, but has never been to jail, never been to prison, never any of that. Married for 20 years to a black woman, happened to be the person that I was, grew up in high school. I've only experienced hardship when it comes to people that look like me, and that goes for the internet. Listen, if I got a difference of opinion or if I hold somebody accountable, never mind that I hold men accountable and women accountable, women have come for my wife. People have made duplicate profiles of my wife. People have DM'd my wife and said that I hope that you do this and I hope that you die and all of this stuff. And I hope that your marriage break up. And it has come from black women, from people that have said some of the worst things about me on the internet. It is all 100% come from black people. And so when we sit here and we try to talk about being on code for who? For what? I'm on code with the people that got my best interests at heart. And more importantly, I'm on code with God and I'm on code with the truth. I do not care about what other people think based off of criteria that they can't control. You can't even control what you was born. You can't control the pigmentation in your skin. And so somehow I'm supposed to group think with you, and we don't come from the same background. We ain't in the same city, same circumstances. We don't think the same. We don't believe the same. So throw out everything. Throw out my religious beliefs. Throw out how I feel about public safety. Throw out policy. Throw out my experience with other people that don't look like me, that has absolutely played a great role in my life. Throw out everything. And the only thing that I'm supposed to do is go with you based off of the fact that you got a similar pigmentation than me. And that's just the criteria. Ignore the fact that the people that carjacked me and tried to kill me look like me. Ignore the fact that the people that go against me and say some of the worst things against my family look like me. Ignore the fact that, we don't even think the same when it comes to our religious beliefs or spirituality, and you very much are against God and everything that you do. Ignore the fact that you've sold poison in your community. Ignore the fact that you continue to perpetuate some of the worst things for us, and I'm just supposed to support you. I hate the whole idea of support a business just because it's black. I don't know if he beat his wife at home. I don't know if he sold drugs to his community. I don't even know if he's a good father. And it's funny because most of our supposedly quote unquote leaders don't even exhibit the same thing as far as what it is that they stand for. They'll tell you, oh man, it's all black men's fault, and they're not even married to a black woman. And it's so much posturing, so much pivoting, and so much false shaming in order to justify the fact that you want to do a certain things, and you should, but because I have a voice and I refuse to be silent about the fact that it's different from what your opinion is or your American right to be able to do what you want to do, now all of a sudden I become the enemy. I'm going to tell you, listen, for people that are truly prejudiced or were racist or whatever because they try to redefine the words in order to make it fit their narrative, for the people that are biased, let's just say that, isn't it interesting that they will perpetuate some of the worst things against people that look like them, that think differently than them, but they'll just complain about people that look differently than them, and then they look for validation from those same people and asking them for stuff. I see people on the corner preaching every day about black and all of this other stuff, and they wearing literally stuff made from people that don't look like them. They'll ask them for money, they'll ask them for jobs, they'll code switch, they'll try to talk like them, and all of this stuff, and then they'll try to shame you for thinking differently. I seen that video that I did a review yesterday on a guy that said that black men that ride with Trump is trash. And he had no real understanding of what he was saying. And the reason that he couldn't cite policy is because Democrats have no policy that actually help you, but the majority of us get in based off of identity politics because nobody wants to read the policy. And even the most intelligent people that should be in office, all you got to do is look good, sound good, and say the thing that feels good to people, and you can get in office. It's unfortunate, but because we refuse to go down and we refuse to support a person that, in my opinion, was a DEI hire, and then y'all think that just because a bunch of white people that are liberal support you, that means that they don't code with you. Stand up for what you believe in. I am not voting for Kamala Harris. I think that she is the worst. She is the final boss. She is King Koopa of the Democrat Party. And it's about time that us, and I'm so glad I'm happy for the women that decided to go against the grain and the sister code in order to do the thing that's best for them. Not even best for us, but best for them. You got to look out for yourself. You got to look out for yourself and your family, and I'm glad that y'all starting to look at policy. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I can't wait to kick it with y'all for the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, teach Hanley 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Don't go for it, bro. Don't go for it.